Are we ready to go? Good. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board meeting for Wednesday, June 5th. It is 6 p.m. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Jeannie Anderson, Dale Blinton, Rodolfo Barrento, Judy Hammerberg, Michael Lenard. Here.
First thing we should do is to vote on Dale's excused absence. I would make a motion to excuse Vice Chair Dale Blanton at today's meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Good evening again, everyone. This is a meeting of the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board. The board is authorized pursuant to Chapter 14 of the Village's Land Development Code to ensure compliance with the Village's Code of Ordinances. The members of the board are citizens and residents of the Village of Biscayne Park. We volunteer our time and we are not paid for our services. The purpose of each hearing is to give any alleged violators the opportunity to contest the decision of the code compliance officer, which resulted in the issuance of a notice of violation, and to determine whether a violation of the village code has occurred or is occurring. We are not authorized to dismiss violations based on hardships, ignorance, or the fact that others may be guilty of the same violation. These hearings are conducted in a quasi-judicial manner. Our responsibility is to act much like a judge in a court, and that is to hear cases presented by the village's code compliance officers and to hear contradictory arguments presented by the alleged violators. We are not authorized to change the code. The village commission is solely authorized to enact or revise codes. Conversely, neither the commission nor the village manager have the authority to overrule the findings of the board. Pursuant to Chapter 162 of Florida statutes, orders of the board can only be appealed to the Circuit Court of Miami-Dade County. We have the authority to assess and order the payment of civil penalties, to issue orders having the force of law, to command whatever steps are necessary to bring a violation into compliance, and to assess administrative costs. In order to make a finding upholding the code compliance officer's decision, we must find that there is substantial, competent evidence that the named violator was responsible for a violation of the relevant section of the code as charged. All documentary evidence presented by the parties must be submitted for placement in the hearing file. No documentary evidence shall be considered unless the alleged violator or code compliance officer submits a copy for the hearing file. Each party shall have the right to call and examine witnesses, to introduce exhibits, to cross-examine opposing witnesses on any matter relevant to the issues, even though that matter was not covered in direct examination, to impeach any witness regardless of which party first called them to testify, and to rebut the evidence against them. Now, if you intend to address the board and you haven't signed in, please do so at this time. And anyone wishing to address the board, please stand and raise your right hand so that you may be sworn in. You are reminded that this board is quasi-judicial and giving false testimony can be penalized.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Do we have any additions, deletions, changes?
I would like to ask that we move the minutes to the end of the
I was
meeting.
going to say that you made that very good suggestion. I believe we all agreed on that a couple months ago. So we will take minutes and move that till after we have heard all cases. We're ready with the first case.
Good evening. Doreen Grant, Code Compliance Department Manager. With We would like to call from old business, section 7, item 7.7. We'll call this case first because attorney requested it. He's on his way to somewhere. If you could come forward.
7?
7.7. It's for the address 10901 and 03 Northeast 10th Avenue. It's for case number CEN 23-12 for Luis Gutierrez and his wife Maria Sabio. This case has been for review under planning and zoning, but has been rejected twice. It is for a driveway that was installed without permits, first obtaining permits. Opposing counsel is present.
It looks, from what we were given, it looks like the last time it was rejected by planning and design was back in November of last year. If that's the case, have there been any changes, any new documents given, any alteration to what was originally submitted, or are we still back from? But
No, nothing else has been submitted to the board.
I'm sorry.
Nothing has been submitted to the board after November. However, they have been before this board and they did explain themselves and what happened. You sent them back to planning and zoning.
Although we're showing an April date, is that simply when the last comments were printed? Because if you look at a document dated May 6, 2024, it shows an April date of becoming active. I mean, that could be simply, it was when this was printed.
No, this was last seen by the planning and zoning board, I believe in February. No,
February 6th.
November, it was November.
This
On the
one
6th,
says
when-
denied 3-0 at board meeting on February 6th,
They've been back,
but that's 2023.
right,
Okay.
November
You're
6th,
right.
20.
There have been no
The last
action
comment.
taken with planning and design review this year.
So what is the status with design review? It's been rejected or it's been
Yes.
accepted?
That's correct.
Rejected. And what was the reason why it was rejected?
Yeah, the parking spaces need to be on property.
Well, that's a big deal. Okay. It was not on their property.
Any questions from any board members?
Well, so then they filed it, an attorney filed a notice of appearance and a continuance from the May 15th hearing. Is that the attorney that's here now?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Sir, if you would identify yourself. and
Yes,
your
Madam Chair.
relationship to the property.
My name is Aaron Cohn. I'm an attorney representing the property owners. I was hired fairly recently. They got a notice of an upcoming meeting. As you're now aware, they have been here by themselves. They are not sophisticated. There's a language barrier. And through a mutual friend, they found me. I agreed to try and help them resolve the issue. As the clerks mentioned, I'm on my way to the airport. I have my suitcase. This was continued and I appreciate the first continuance. But it was set for today, kind of unilaterally. I would have said I wasn't available. But before we go on to my primary purpose here tonight was to ask for a continuance, but I want to assure the board that they don't want to fight this. They are unfortunate victims of a licensed contractor who filed the permit application. Permit was rejected. He didn't tell them this. He went and installed the driveway. The boundary survey, which is kind of shocking and shows very clearly this is where he planned to put it.
Or we're gonna need to.
We
keep
need to-
that. You have a
I
copy?
will absolutely give this to you.
Okay, good.
The
Thank you.
city has a copy. I got this from the clerk this week, or late last week, I believe. They emailed it to me. How he submitted this with the property line very clearly here with the parking pads over here, I'm not very sure. So my intention is to work with planning and permitting to move them, okay? These will be access driveways if possible, but to put the actual parking spaces further east on their property so that the parking spaces lie on their property. It will require the removal of some trees. Have to figure out exactly that. I know there's setback requirements from the side lot lines. We'll work on that. But I would ask a 60-day extension so that I have time. I'll be back in town in 6 days to meet with planning and hopefully the contractor and explain to him what he did opens them up to liability and he needs to fix it. But primarily what they want to do is become compliant.
And
That's the goal.
and in fairness to your client, I do see they have paid
Yes.
their violation fine as well as the administrative fine.
Yes.
So I would be comfortable with would August 5th work?
If I may check my calendar, I'm
Yes, sir.
pretty sure I'm open the first week. Yes, that's fine.
My motion would be in case CEN 23-12 that we table this until our August 5th meeting.
August 14th. August 14th.
That August. Right, sorry,
Yes.
I was thinking.
Still available.
Well,
You're still okay? So
Yes, sir. Yes,
the
ma'am.
14th,
Yes, ma'am.
table till our August 14th meeting, at which time you'll come back with a progress report for
Or have it resolved, hopefully.
All right, I'll second that.
it. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, board members.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck getting to the airport.
Thank you.
Still in old business, the next case is 7.1. 675 Northeast 115th Street for case number CEN 23-276 for Matthew Carlisle. Carlisle, I'm sorry.
All right,
Um,
the first, not the last.
okay. We're here asking for an order of enforcement on this case for a driveway that does not meet design standards. There is no permit in the system. We spoke with, staff reached out to planning and zoning regarding this case, and planning and zoning stated that they will have to go through the process for them to review or make recommendations. At this time, they haven't applied for a permit, so they are not going through the process with planning and zoning. They did submit a letter, which we have submitted into evidence explaining what happened with the front of their property. Understandable in our department. However, we have to go by the rules and they will have to go through the zoning process for zoning to make recommendations on how they can do this driveway.
I didn't see that letter in the packet.
Have the letter.
If we have something like this, if we need a copy for everybody, we shouldn't have to take up these folks' time while we're trying to read this one at a time.
I agree.
In the pictures we have, I don't see a driveway on the property.
This front, well, that's, yeah, let me show you something here. The driveway was, we had an original gravel driveway. We had it for 30 years when I bought the house. We've always had it there the whole.
Was it beyond the swale or just on the?
square.
Okay, and that's no longer.
And if you would, both
Oh,
of you,
Excuse me?
would you both identify yourself?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm Matthew
Thank you.
Carlisle. This is my wife, Amy Carlisle. Hi. We've been residents of Miami, Biscayne Park for 30 years. Haven't had any issues, but when they decided to do the drainage improvement, they tore up all the gravel we had in the front of our yard. They tore up our grass, did nothing to restore it. I had to go out there with a shovel and level out the land myself to have some semblance of parking. Since they took so long to even do it, my wife had to park in front of our, under our Oak Street. So after I leveled it out, after they gave me a code thing, I went up and filled it with gravel. I put a grate over top of their drain with gravel there, so we could park 2 cars over the house. We parked there since day 1 of our house. It's, and on my survey I got from the, when I bought the house, it says Parkway on there. Now, I'm not disputing whether or not that is city property or not city property. I am disputing the fact that it's been a gravel driveway from day 1. My neighbors next to me have an asphalt driveway. They've had it the whole time. It's always been a driveway, so it's not in contention that it was ever a driveway. What's in contention is the city left it unusable. I was left to remedy it myself. And in that time, I reached out to the city, sent a note. Mrs. Grant had forwarded it to people in the city. Nobody's ever responded to me, not one single thing. In October, I sent another letter and made a phone call. Nobody responded back. I've talked with city manager, I've talked with Mayor Grow, I've talked to Public Works, new Public Works supervisor. They all say, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. Unbeknownst to me, nothing was taken care of. I get a letter on my front door, a certified letter saying I'm in violation. How do I go forward as a resident?
Does anyone have pictures of before the drainage?
Yes, I have one.
Yes.
That was a driveway. It needed gravel.
Okay,
gravel on it.
but-
There's no question.
Okay, but the standards for driveways require the driveways to be on the resident's property, not on the swale.
Well, what the gentleman is saying, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Were this in a better situation, you possibly could have just refreshed it. But considering what I'm seeing here, it would not have qualified for refreshing.
But again, the standards for the driveway ordinance requires it to be.
Ms. Grant, would you explain?
So we were working behind scenes. I have spoken to Mayor Groth. I have spoken with the Public Works Director. He actually sent an email. Did you just put that through? There's another phase that's gonna happen, I think, within the year. And your right. And I know your property will be involved again with the drainage. So that said, we do understand your situation because of where the drainage system is located. I wouldn't recommend to you to just go ahead and install a driveway. However, the Planning and Zoning and Design Board Chairperson recommended that you go and have a discussion with them about how you could install a driveway or parking. At least they would look at what you have in mind or look at how the property is
The-
situated.
Yes, so the property that we have, the
Mhm.
front of the house, it's very small. It
Right,
is the
don't-
smallest property on our block.
right. He looked at the pictures and he said, because there's no driveway at all, you would have to
Right.
sit with them. They would make recommendations. We've had a situation like that in the past.
Now, do I ever understand that properly? Aren't driveways grandfathered in, like gravel drivebuies
Yeah,
grandfathered
our
in?
house
Sir,
was
it
built in nineteen
depends
twenty-six.
on the condition of the driveway, and in looking at what you have provided us, Ms. Grant,
If it wasn't 50% deteriorated, we would have said replenish it.
But also,
It's-
it's not on your property. It's,
It was.
still grandfathered in
Right,
if it wasn't a 50% issue, am I correct?
that's correct.
But how can you determine it was 50% issue when the city itself went and ground everything out of there and left me with nothing but dry
Sir, I'm
sand?
going by the picture you gave
But
that was your
picture was what I
before
found.
picture.
I, as a resident, was able to find that on Google Earth. And what you're looking at is a picture that has debris there from a recent
I
rainstorm.
apologize again. I need you into the microphone or.
sorry.
What you're seeing is a picture there that I found on Google Earth. We're looking back at dates, and it shows that's from, there's leaves, there's builder there, but there was gravel there. Now the amount of gravel I need isn't more than 50%. So we're not just trying to dispute that point. I need to put a driveway in unequivocally. The city needs to do something with what they've done to my front yard to allow me to finish the job I should be able to do rightfully as a homeowner.
That is understandable, sir, and that's why we would like for you to sit with zoning.
Right.
They will make recommendations.
Okay, because I had a meeting with them supposed to be on Monday and they put me off until next week.
Okay, I'm not sure why,
Yeah.
but I'll make sure that they put you on the next meeting.
And as a resident, I can't believe that the city is allowed to do what they've done.
Mhm.
And I'm left with getting certified letters and notices on my door saying somehow I caused a problem. When I reach out to the city, not one single person in this city had the duty, the courtesy to contact me as a resident saying, Mr. Carlisle, we got your notice, we're working on it. Nobody's done that. It's been crickets. I went to 3 commission meetings. Not one person has responded back to me.
Mhm.
And now you have the audacity to try and hold me responsible for something the city itself created? That's
It's a
little,
difficult situation.
little
We
difficult.
understand, sir. However, we had to issue the violation because
Yeah.
standards have been changed and raised. Your situation can be presented before the planning and zoning board, and they'll make recommendations on how you can
And so
come into compliance.
So if I understand it correctly, he really can't move forward because they're going to be doing this work coming up.
Absolutely, and
So now
this
he's
is why.
having
they
a
need to
catch
look-
22.
Absolutely. They need to look at the plans and how the city is placing the drainage system underneath. We had another property that had the same issue. They sat with planning and zoning recommended they do a circular driveway, which moved away from where the drainage system was. Now, I don't know what they would recommend for their property. They would have to sit with the
But that, okay,
designers.
that's issue one. The other issue is whether he is grandfathered in or not. I'm not sure if your intention was, all things being equal, that you
But
would.
sure, we don't want to be grandfathered in with a gravel driveway. That's not our intention to keep a gravel driveway. We don't want to put a circular driveway in. Unfortunately, where they put the drain, number one, didn't serve the drainage issues in that area.
Mhm.
I have a picture from the 22nd of May this year that shows a high water line going all the way up my neighbor's yard across the street. It floods there every single time it rains. It's never flooded my front yard the whole time I've been there. One time in 2006, it flooded. One time, an inch and a half inch of rain.
Less than an inch.
We never had flooding there. Never, ever, ever. Somehow, in their grand wisdom, on 115th Street, the work they did was shoddy. The streets falling apart, there's potholes everywhere, and the drain is in the wrong place. It should have been across the street and would alleviate the flooding problems for our neighbors across the street who have put up with it for 30 years. How did it get put in my yard? I don't know. Did the city ever inform me, ask me, call me, do anything at all to reach out to me and say, Mr. Carlisle, we plan on doing this. What are your thoughts? Nothing. And they put it in the wrong place and did lousy work. And now I, as a homeowner, I'm being held responsible for it. It's a little ridiculous.
Bear with me a second, sir. I'd like to see a couple of things here. The email from Mr. Pena doesn't seem to say exactly where the next phase is. Are we to assume it will encompass 115th again?
Are they going to address the problems that Mr. Carlisle is saying that have been that have been exacerbated?
Pictures.
Is that why they're doing construction again in a year? Does anybody know?
Yes.
This picture shows, park here.
Mhm.
See the lake across the street?
Yep, sure do.
There's a street right here.
Yep,
That's a
I know,
lake.
I
It
know,
goes
sir.
all the way from a neighbor's top of the yard across the street, all the way up to the asphalt. On the other side of the street, you never come to our yard.
It's kind of a,
ridiculous.
it's.
Mhm.
So you're saying that the drainage made the problem worse around your house? Is that the bottom line of what you're
Well,
saying?
the only time we get water there now is where they made a depression in our front yard.
They dug
because
down.
They did a lousy job. They have it 4 inches below grade in the middle of where my driveway.
Right, in order to install the storm drain, they actually dug about 5 inches of earth into the area
Right.
where I used to park.
That's why I believe Ms. Grant is.
And that is why I purposely had to park in front of, actually on my front yard, which I didn't want to do, mind you. I don't want to wreck my grass, and we had every intention to put a new driveway in. As a matter of
Still
fact,
do.
we discussed it a month before they started doing the construction on 115th Street. And when they did that, not only did they dig an enormous hole right in front of my yard, which prevented me from parking, it also, they pushed up all the dirt and gravel from underneath the street where the street was and pushed it onto our yard. We had rocks the size of softballs thrown into our yard. When they left, they never cleaned up anything. We took care of that all on our own.
Didn't
They
make
never
the
made
blame.
any attempt to rectify the situation. And then about a week after they were done doing the drain, which again takes up half of my yard, it's an enormous storm drain. They came with some sod, some dead sod, and threw some dead sod around the perimeter of the drain. And that was
They
it.
put no dirt on the gravel. and
No, no.
They literally didn't drop sod. They dropped clumps of loose,
All right,
dry.
we're-
grass
Yeah.
in the yard.
We
That's what they
kinda-
did, and walked away.
And we have
We're,
pictures.
we're in kind of,
Okay,
a
I
bit
know
of-
I don't
but
think it was time.
That's why
So
we haven't
we'll
been
be
able to put
planning
a
and zoning?
driveway in.
hang on, a sec. We're in a bit of uncharted territory here. We cannot give directive to
Right.
employees, but quite honestly, in addition to following through with Ms. Grant's suggestion that you go in front of P and Z, because they are the ones who have the knowledge to help you work out where things will work best.
Right.
I'm also concerned, very concerned, that no one in administration, I am not referring to you folks, please, has met with these folks and heard their concerns, heard what they've been through. And do I know if they can help? No, of course I don't, but I know they owe you the courtesy of coming out and seeing what's going on and hearing your story. Is there any way?
Absolutely. I
Thank
can arrange for you to meet with the manager. And if you can meet with the Public Works Director, that would be great too.
And this is what we plan on doing. This is the drawing I just had,
Very nice.
right?
Yeah.
This is the street right here.
Sure.
That's a swale area. Get 3 cars in there, I still have to pull one out of the yard. From here to here, it's 24 feet. But you don't have a lot of room.
No.
That's why I'm parking, and can make my whole yard paved over like. a highway.
That we don't want.
No, it's okay. We don't want that.
Airbnb, well,
I'm,
I don't want to do.
I'm thinking,
Proud of.
And we like having you as a
if
neighbor.
it's okay, I'm thinking, see how the board feels, that we ask you, please, to come back in July after having met with hopefully both the Public Works Director and Planning and Zoning. You're going to be in a much better position then to be comfortable with what you're doing and how things will work out. With that, we have a meeting July 17th. Would that work?
July 17th? Okay.
Yes, sir.
We're having a meeting next week, planning and zoning, I guess on Monday, I think it is.
Right. That's great.
Couldn't
That-
put it
at
there.
least
They
you
asked
have
me at
that,
6
but
PM yesterday, on Monday, and they said, oh, we're too busy. Can you reschedule? Sure.
We already tabled this case for the July meeting.
no, it contradicts what the order
Yeah.
of enforcement said.
Yes.
And I would recommend as a past commissioner that if you continue to have problems as more work gets done, don't do the work yourself. Get yourself over to talk to our village manager, to talk to our public works department. That's what needs to be done.
Right.
Really need,
My assumption was, I fell in that donut hole of old city manager, new city manager, old public work supervisor, new public works supervisor. Maybe that's why it all happened.
That's
I can't assume it's just a black cloud following me around, but. black
You're
cloud,
absolutely
no
right.
problem.
Yeah, things do fall through the cracks when there's so much change in administration, but I will make sure you meet with the manager.
And prior to the letter I sent to Ms. Grant, I also had talked to 2 engineers and 2 supervisors on the crews prior to that in April and in May, trying to resolve this. Now I work full time. I don't have the luxury of sitting home, but I did my due diligence, and when they dug the hole in our front yard, we
you
assumed
clearly, sir,
they're
have
putting
made
6
every
foot.
effort,
They didn't do that.
and I appreciate, well, if,
We're
no-
tabled July 17th.
yes, sir. If no one has any other questions,
I'll second that.
I would say in CEN 23-276, we table this till the July 17th meeting. I would ask that you please meet with P and Z and that staff, if engineer, get a meeting between these folks and appropriate people on staff. And thank you for your patience. Thank
Thank
you
you.
both very much.
Thank you very much.
And anyone I've talked to in person has always been very gracious and cooperative and helpful, tell me, don't worry about it, Mr. Carlisle, we've got it under control. One hand doesn't know, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is
I've
doing.
got to call my vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All, any
Aye.
opposed?
Thank you very much for your
Motion
time.
passes 4-0. Thank you.
Next case in old business is 7.2 for 740 Northeast 121st Street. Case number CEN 23-389 for Elaine B. Amiel. This is a violation for a driveway. The fines, this is, we're asking the board to issue an intent to lien. Fines have not been paid yet in the amount of $500 for administrative costs and the violation fine.
There are no daily fine accruals, am I correct?
What number is this?
7.2.
7.2.
2 years.
7.2. Am I correct? Staff, there are no daily fines. It's the,
There were no daily fines. They applied for the permit before the daily fines. They only have the 500.
and.
And what is
before
the
we get to
500 for?
Fines, if we
The
could.
order of, in the order of enforcement, there was 250 assessed for the violation, 250 assessed administrative costs.
Bear
It'll-
with us, sir. We'll give you a minute. I'm looking though at May 15th comments. There are still significant documents outstanding.
That's correct. Can you open this?
There are no significant documents missing. I have one small comment from Public Works, which is a cross detail of the
Chris,
section.
If you could, your name and your relationship to the.
My name is Alan Amiel. I'm the property owner. And last time that I was here last month, there was no 500 or administrative costs or anything.
We did
I've
mail the
met
order
all
in the
the
mail, sir.
deadlines. I'm doing what I can. I don't know why there would be any fines.
We did email the order.
The order of enforcement was back in March.
Mhm.
Last month, you, your case was tabled till this month. Back in March, bear with me, I will find the order. The order in March gave the compliance date, but yes, it has the 250 violation fine and a 250 administrative fee. So that was back in March, not last month.
Well, I thought that, I remember this homeowner from the last meeting and that I thought that he was working out some details to
There
get.
was one comment, Public Works, I have the drawing from my architect. I left the country. I just got back. I'll upload. And it's not a major document. It's one single comment for a detail that you guys are providing to me so I can pay somebody to draw it, to submit. And things happen. I left the country. I'm sorry. This is,
And that those
you
documents do
know,
have to be turned in, but
the story
if
changes
you
every
want to
month
see
that I
the
come
order
here.
of enforcement, sir, that you'll.
No, I don't need to see it. So anyway, I'm back in town. I'll submit the detail and get a permit hopefully in a few days.
He's right. There are just two comments from one of the reviewers. Is to provide driveway cross-section and to refer to the standard driveway packet. Gravel driveways require 4-inch deep water. I think that was
That's what's
included.
on my plan. Oops, you guys saw that last month. So again, you're asking me for a detail that you guys are providing and I'm giving and spinning back to you, but I'll do it. Anyway, it'll be submitted and I'll be permitted in a couple of weeks, in a couple of days, hopefully.
Any other questions?
No questions.
And I can't get fined anymore because you guys have to decide, you want me to fix my driveway or do you want to fine me? It's not like I'm a millionaire.
Can I get a motion?
Well, I'll make a motion to table it until the next meeting in July 17th. In light of what this homeowner has said and
Pavement. And I'm not so much concerned about the state of the permit at this point. He's clearly working on that. But we have to deal with what we want to do with the fines. He's still outstanding on the violation fine and the admin fee.
I have never gotten, just for the record, a notice that I need to pay anything. If I did, I would have paid it.
I would, okay,
So whatever, wherever you send an invoice or a bill or a notice, I have never gotten that notice that says, please pay this amount.
We sent it by certified mail.
I would love to see it.
so I
The,
don't.
the,
feel
the
we
letters I
need-
get are generic. They're not telling me to pay any amount.
So I'm seconding essentially for discussion. I don't feel really that we need to have the gentleman come back, but we have to address the fines. So I would like to give him a date outstanding to pay the fines. If they're not paid by then, to put the intent to lien, but it's a little early.
Sounds reasonable.
You feel?
I'd like to see him come in here and say that everything has been approved by Biscayne Park and that he's in the process of doing it and then come in for, some type of a reduction or some, something else.
That sounds good to me.
So then we'll table this as it is for next month or a progress report, but then we still do have to deal with the two fines. They will need to be paid. I would like a deadline though, as part of your motion. I would like a deadline for the fines to be paid or else the intent to lien to be filed.
So if we give him a date certain, then he can come back and challenge those or get a move for a fine reduction?
The initial fine, sure, if he so chooses, the initial fines and the admin fee are not daily fines. They're not accruing. They're done.
Right. But I mean, he would still have the opportunity to ask and we could consider. I'll do that as long as he has that option to address us with that if he wants to. So I'll amend that. I'll add that.
So the reduction can be asked for once the driveway is installed and finalized.
Fine will sit there, driveway's installed, but you can't come back for a reduction until the permit is final.
Do you understand that?
Yeah, I didn't know that, but yeah, I understand that. How long is it gonna take to get the permit once I submit this drawing to Public Works? Like, is it a week? Is it?
That we can't say. It goes to the building department. We are not building. It's out of our hands once it goes into building.
I'm not comfortable with those fines out there until the project's done. You have 6 months on a permit. Permits can be renewed. Meantime, those fines are sitting there. And again, they're not accruing. They're not daily fines. They are the basic violation fine and admin fee fine. That staff puts the time into all of this and the village is out that.
Madam Chair, please speak into the mic. We won't be able to hear the tape.
Hear you.
I'm sorry. Let me try that again.
Well, no, look, I understand that, the time that Doreen and the crew has been putting in, but Mr. Emil, I've seen him at least 2 or 3 times coming here to talk to us about, recognition of the issue, moving forward. He's got some issues. He's been keeping us informed. So,
But those fines don't exist if a violation didn't occur. They're not, again, they're not dailies. They're existing because there was a violation.
but if we're going to impose a date certain that's not before the job is done, then, he would get no relief from at least attempting or trying to challenge it, the daily fines. And I just think that he's expressed
I would like to set a
desire to get this worked out.
to see those fines paid by August 5th. Again, if they were dailies, I would feel differently, but they are things that have already occurred and incurred. And
I would like to enter into the evidence certified mail of the order of enforcement that we mailed to property owner. Or the order itself. Here.
I've been here multiple times where people come with attorneys and they tell me, or tell you rather, that the wording on that doesn't work and you guys dismiss it. So, you know, I don't want to do that. I'm trying to comply and do my driveway. He came by the house today, he can tell you that I've already started working on the driveway. That's how anxious I am to get this over with. I don't have the time to keep coming back here. I got a family, I got problems. I'm not getting paid to come here. So where does it say that I have to pay a fine by a set amount of time?
Fine here, which you complied by applying for the permit, so we don't have it daily, we only have these two fines right here. And this
Okay,
was
I can assure you that I have never gotten this letter. I'll show you the letter that I get when you guys mail me.
This is the receipt for the post office, the certified.
All right, in any case, make a decision, whatever, you know, whatever you're gonna do.
Go ahead, you can make the motion, whatever motion you want.
No, it's your motion. If you wanted the amendment, you can include it. If you don't want the amendment,
If I finish the permit, but what day did you say? August?
no,
Or
I'm,
something like
that
that?
was my suggestion for paying the
So is
fine.
it possible that if I get the
the
permit
permitting
finished
process
before
we can't-
August 4th, I get to mitigate or whatever you call it?
Permitting process, we cannot control. This is simply to get the fine paid. I suggested August 5th.
Which if your driveway's not done by that time, then you can't
That's why I was asking.
challenge
right,
it because
that's why I was
it's gotta, you can only
So
do that
make
when
it
it's
till the
done.
end of August, that way I have a chance to finish the driveway and then
Okay?
it's a compromise. Does that work for you?
So maybe it's a,
August 30th.
okay,
So that's-
all right, then we would take it up at the September meeting if that's,
You signed for the receipt. We have the receipt from the post office that you signed for the order.
Fine. We can have him come back next month. if you
Record
wanna-
from the post office that you signed for it.
By August 30th.
yeah, if he's okay.
Their
with
signature.
August
No,
4th.
that's not yours? So someone else at the house received it? I agree. I just want to make sure you know we sent it.
I'm doing the driveway.
Not- I was just looking at the record. I wasn't accusing you of anything, sir.
I will second Michael's thing that we table it and that fines be paid by August 30th.
Michael, is that amendment okay?
Yeah, yeah, and after, some input from Mr. Allen, I'm good
Alan,
with that.
yes.
I want to make sure we got the motion clear. Table it. Fine paid on August 30th, or else they can file the intent to lien. That's
Table to
part of-
September,
No, August 5th.
August 14th is the
No,
hearing.
August 30th, right, that's right.
So August 14th is the hearing. Are you tabling to the 14th or the 30th? The hearing is on the 14th.
Well, he wants to the 30th, so I would table. it
Wants
to
the 30th? Okay.
That's fair. So the meeting is
The fine.
September's meeting, and the fine paid by August 30th, or the village can file the intent to lien.
Fine. September meeting will be September 18th.
Okay,
Michael's motion and Judy second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. So basically I have to get the permit finalized before the 30th of August, right? And if not, we have a hearing on September, is that it?
well, yeah, and you said to pay the fine by the
Right,
August
exactly.
30th,
Yeah.
so,
I will.
that's what you have to do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next item is 7.3. The address is 844 Northeast 121st Street. Case number CEN 23398 for Darlene Mateer. This is a progress report on permit number WS 24-23 for a driveway.
What's the number? 7 what?
7.3. I would like to add that we had a meeting with the building official because we needed to clarify this particular violation. The driveway has a hole in it. And when the building official reviewed the file, he recommended that we withdraw this violation because we cited them for design standards. What we should have decided them was property maintenance, and they could just patch up that hole and come into compliance. They don't need a permit for that.
So all they gotta do is just fix the hole?
That's correct.
Basically.
Yeah, we have 2 cases like that. They don't have to they haven't yet patched it up. Once they patch it up, I'll close the case.
So it's not 50% deteriorated.
It's not. That's the point.
Withdraw the order of
That-
enforcement. This case.
That's correct. We will issue them with a property maintenance violation just to make sure we can monitor the progress until they comply.
Okay, so do we need to make a motion to withdraw? Yep. I will make a motion to withdraw, and close this case?
We're
Yes,
withdrawing.
CEN-398.
A second.
All in favor?
you.
Aye.
Aye.
Ma'am, you do understand, this particular violation has been dismissed. What you are going to see is
Another violation for property maintenance.
we'll need to make the necessary repairs, but they won't require a permit?
You won't require a permit for that.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case is 7.4. This is for 845 Northeast 117th Street for case number CEN 23-440 for Joseph Frasche Jr. The fines have been paid, right? The fine, yes. And they have applied for a permit. So we would ask that no intent for lien is issued. No intent to lien.
I'm sorry.
You gonna ask for what?
We would ask the board to not issue the intent to lien because they have paid the fines and they have applied for a permit.
I'm gonna ask about that one.
Yes.
Oh, we're good, and Mr. Frechette can.
Yes,
No.
can I just ask one thing while I'm here, though? One of the issues I've had, and I've been speaking to code on a regular basis, is whether, because I have 2 borders, I explained this last time. So I have borders on the east and the north side. I need a border on the west side. I used to have a border on the west side, but my neighbor to the west, when they did construction on the house, they got rid of my border, right? So I know I need to put a border there. I don't have a problem putting a border. It's just between the permitting process, because I would need to order a new survey. I need to get plans made just to put a border on the west side. So I didn't know if there was any way it's possible for me to meet with,
Mr.
Yeah.
Frechette, I've got to stop you unfortunately. That is not in our purview.
okay.
That's P and Z.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
so
gotta
is
go to
there-
planning and design.
Am I allowed to meet with them to
Yes,
see whether that's
sure.
going to be
You
necessary or
can, you
not?
can ask to be put on for discussion.
Okay, okay,
Absolutely,
that's
just
fine.
ask to be placed for discussion
okay,
purposes.
okay,
Absolutely,
That
because
sounds-
they're the ones that you're gonna want to run everything by. that
okay.
you
So
want
I will
to
talk to them about
place.
how that's to be structured, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I would make a motion in CEN 23-440 that we close the case.
I'll second.
thank you.
All in
very-
favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Joe.
Joe?
The next case,
Bear with me a second, on 7-3, who did the second on that motion?
Judy?
And you did the,
and who seconded the motion? Who is the? 7.3. I just wanted to clarify, who made the motion and who seconded? It was Judy and Michael
Yeah.
for 7.3. And then for 7.4, we have that. So we're on to 7.5. This is for 1075 Northeast 119th Street, CEN 23-510, Natalie Alicia Gajada. This violation was for a driveway, but we are asking the board to rescind the order of enforcement dated April 17, 2024. And the reason for that is we had received a request from an attorney for a continuance, but we didn't see it. So when she appeared before the board, you issued an order. We went back and checked the records and found the email from December. So we are asking that that order be rescinded. However, she's not here today. I asked her to come and I asked her to apply for the permit. Both things haven't happened. I'm asking the board to issue another order of enforcement.
I would prefer that we not dismiss that order, but we vote to rehear the case with the new evidence, and I'll tell you why. We have two precedents that would show we've done this, well, we've done it and the commission has done it also. About a year or two ago, we had someone come in front of us who got cited, and I'm sorry, every time I turn my head, I forget to do this. And they were cited for putting in a pool without a construction fence. We heard the case one evening. The woman, by the time she came here, I believe we were actually closing up, almost done. She had other documents, email exchanges with the village that she had every right to expect to be part of her backup packet. We agreed to rehear it the following month. We just simply reopened. Last night, the commission reopened a variance case. They can't just dismiss it, of course. They're going to rehear it. So we really don't have to dismiss. We just have to agree. And since I was one of the ones on the so-called winning side, I would make a motion that in CEN 23-510, we reopen the case considering all new evidence.
Rehear the case
Hear
for
the
an
case.
order of enforcement.
Sorry.
Okay.
We rehear the case considering all new evidence.
Was that a motion?
That's my motion.
I'll second.
When are we going to rehear it?
Now.
Okay.
Oh. Without her, do you want to give her a chance to come?
Problem.
Yes.
I mean, she knows this is
Yes.
a delicate issue.
Mhm.
And
Right, and she did come to the office and I explained to her what happened and I encouraged her to apply for the permit and to come and meet the board and move forward, but
Oh,
she's
but-
not here.
we're doing a lot of continuances and seeing minimal progress. And that's concerning. We have an absolute responsibility to work with every property owner. But there's gotta be a give and take. And I'm just not getting, did she communicate to you that tonight wouldn't work?
I sent her an email. She might have replied when I left the office this afternoon. I sent the email quite late.
The one thing that I see on record is a December 23rd thing from an attorney, and that's a long time ago.
Yeah, I see this and I really
20th.
appreciate that you guys do that. So there was an email to her and no response.
Right.
And it starts to become, and I'm going to be very blunt, it starts to become a stall tactic.
But also, if you read the letter, it says she requires at least 6 months in order to do so. And that letter is dated December 20th, and we are now in June. So 6 months is right here.
I agree. From the beginning, she had 4, from December to April. And now she has 6. She's effectively working her way into more than she even originally asked for.
Mhm. All right. Would you like me to reread the case and ask for an order of enforcement?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Would you like me to read the case again and ask for an order of enforcement, a new one?
And I think we should go through the attorney's letter, address the points,
Yes.
and then go from there. Yes.
Section 7.5, 1075 Northeast 119th Street for case number CEN 23-510. Nathalie Alicia Gajadar. We are asking the board for an order of enforcement. They were found to be in violation of chapter 5.6 off-street parking for a driveway that does not meet the standards of design set forth in section 5.6.7.
Have you had communications with the lawyer since December?
Yes, she was here. She was heard before the board when they issued this order of enforcement in April. She came to the office after that. I spoke with her and told her that we did find the email. Actually, she brought the email.
Board would indulge me. I want to go through the letter and kind of bring you up. to-
Yeah, because I wasn't at that meeting, the April.
And I want to bring you up to what went down in April. Okay, if you look at the notice of violation, she was given, it was written December 15th. She was given 1 month, January 16th. Now, there is a reference in the attorney's letter to January 2nd. That's January 2nd, 2023, part of the language from the actual ordinance. But the village was taking a more lenient attitude and not immediately starting with notices of violation, hence why she didn't get one till late in the year. She was present at the April meeting. Even though we very unfortunately did not have the attorney's letter, she was very clear in her request for 6 months. By then, she had had 4. She's a contractor that she's wanting to use, and he wouldn't be available immediately. But as we explained to her, we gave her 2 months to actually pull the permit. Permits are good for 6 months. Permits can be renewed. So it built in that cushion that to use that particular contractor, she claimed she was going to need. Now, she asks the question, who did the investigation? Luciano, I've seen that you signed an order of enforcement. Would you be the one who did the investigation and determined there was a lack of compliance?
In reference to this case, I was at that property. I checked the property, looking at the driveways, and it wasn't up to compliance.
Now, could you please be specific as to what the problem is? Is it a percentage problem or is it the approach?
Basically, that property has a ribbon type driveway.
Mhm.
And it's not connecting up to the road, the approach. So it's the approach that's,
So the 50% deterioration does not get into it. I want him to say it on record.
Okay.
I knew it. I wanted to. hear
so
it on record.
basically it's the approach, the ribbons is not meeting up to the roadway, so it's the approach.
That's what I thought.
And
Bear with me.
And has there been a permit applied for?
No. And I spoke with her personally and asked her to at least put in an application.
What did she say about that?
She said she would, but she hasn't.
And is everybody's understanding of this attorney's letter that they wanted 6 months for her to,
from December 20th, so we're at 6 months and a week.
want to understand that what they were asking for was she intended to make the improvements to her existing driveway, but requires 6 months in order to do so. So is it fair to assume from looking at these pictures and what you just said, is that not only did she not, ask for, she didn't do any improvements at all, and she hasn't even taken the first step?
Correct.
The reason that the fines are properly issued is it wasn't just she didn't come into compliance in the first month. There were still 3 more months after that, and she did not even start the process. We're now 2 months later. She's not even started the process.
And what did the attorney say in April that they were waiting for at that point?
When I met with her, she told me that this attorney is no longer working with her because I wanted to contact the attorney and discuss the 6 months. And she said not to contact the attorney because they are no longer working together.
Again, it goes back to what I said. We have an absolute responsibility to work with everyone. But we have. We clearly have. And even if she wrote me back and said she couldn't make tonight, then obviously I'd say, yeah, no problem, we'll table it.
Right.
But we've given in and we've moved forward and we're at 6 months with no effort.
Yeah, I say we move forward.
Is your motion to hold the order of enforcement stands?
My motion would be to hold as the order of enforcement stands.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
To enforce the, hold, not to rescind. Not to rescind. All right.
The next case is 7.6. It's at 10901 Griffin Boulevard. Case number CEN-23-59 for MPMR Holdings LLC. We were going to ask for an intent to lien on this case. However, they have complied with the violation. They've put a screen around the pool to make it safe. Now it's up to the board. They haven't paid the $500. If the board would want to go ahead and do the intent to lien for the $500.
Please take a look at the affidavit of compliance.
Are you not Natalie? Are you Natalie? Yes. We are on another case right now. Would you please take a seat?
Told me to go.
Okay.
No, that was his last.
If you take a look at the order of compliance, paragraph 3. It lists a driveway violation.
Cool.
And it's a pool.
It says, I see that. I see it. You're not supposed to be. I see it. We will, we would like to strike this affidavit off the record and, correct it and resubmit it. We will correct the affidavit and resubmit it.
Table it.
The table, yes.
Are there going to be any communications with the homeowner to tell them that they got this fine out there and give them notice of the next meeting?
Absolutely.
Table till July.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
July 7th.
They're gonna have.
Who did the motion for this?
Me,
Michael?
What did I
me
do?
and Michael.
Michael and Janie. Michael made the motion and Janie seconded. Thank you. I would like to ask for the board to consider the case you heard before this one. I know you've made a motion, but she just came. I'm putting on the record that we are recalling case at 7.5, 1075 Northeast 119th Street. This is CEN 23-510. And this is for a driveway.
If you would, ma'am, identify yourself and your relationship to the property.
My name is Natalie Gadgetar. I'm the homeowner for 1075 Northeast 119th Street.
We've already gone through your attorney's letter, addressed all the issues. In a nutshell, you were given the order of the notice of violation in December. You were given a month to come into compliance, which, as we explained to you in April, simply would have meant pulling the permit, at least starting the process. That didn't happen. By April, when we heard the case, it still hadn't happened. You were not involved. Your attorney alludes to the 50% damage rule. That is not the point. The point is the driveway approach. And the other thing I neglected to mention, at the bottom of the notice of violation is the way to contact code compliance if there are things that are not clear, things you don't understand. So there is a way to have reached out to them. In April, you had already had 4 months. There was no compliance. We gave you 2 months to come into compliance. Yes, we assessed a violation fine as well as an admin fine because there had been no compliance. You were given the deadline, I believe, of the 20th of this month in terms of, as we explained, just get the permit process started. You will have 6 months after that, because I know you expressed concern, your contractor was not going to be just instantaneously available. Permits are good for 6 months, permits can be renewed. So at this point, we had voted that the order of enforcement stands, but we certainly want to give you your chance. We will listen again.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I voted for the order of enforcement was because you weren't here. And there were some questions that I wanted to ask that you couldn't readily tell from the record, which is there was a letter from your attorney that said you needed 6 months to comply and to get your driveway done. And then 6 months is going to be like on the 20th of this month. And we find out that you didn't even apply for a permit in that whole amount of time. So that was my first question is, what efforts have you taken to try to address the problem other than hiring an attorney that you're not dealing with anymore, who wrote a threatening letter that asked for 6 months, which, de facto we provided. And now here we are. And, the only thing that we have so far is you showing up after your case was decided.
Okay, first of all, I'm sorry that I was late. When I read the letter, I thought it was tomorrow was the meeting.
But I think Ms.
Okay.
Maureen called you today and told
she
you.
didn't.
She
Emailed.
emailed you
She
today.
emailed my neighbor. And I have the email.
No.
The
No,
email is right here.
He did.
Okay, regardless, I have the email from both Doreen and
Luciana.
Luciano,
I
that
emailed
it was
you.
my email. It was my neighbor's email. She happened to text me and say, I'm sorry, I think I got an email from,
Are you saying that you did not get one from Doreen? She
no,
said-
it was to my neighbor and she just forwarded me the email.
So this email is under your property, under your name, and that's why I used it.
Well,
In the
it's my
system.
neighbor's email. I have it right here, proof. Well, regardless of the fact, that's besides the point. The permit hasn't been, I went to the city a couple weeks ago to clarify some issues about the driveway and why it needed to be done. They told me it was the approach, that it needed to have the same material. Honestly, I didn't have the money. I just got the money. It takes a lot of money to get the permit and to do the driveway. So I am in the process of speaking to a contractor now for the design of the driveway and to see, because I've never done a permit before through the city. So I don't know exactly what it entails, if you have to get the design and then get the permit and submit the design and all of these other
I'm
things.
going to stop you only half a second. Go in and talk to the building clerk.
Yeah.
You'll drive yourself crazy trying to think of everything you have to have. They should be providing a form,
Packet.
am I correct?
Yes. A packet.
That will tell you every step of the process.
And I understand that, it's the first time for everything, but in the 6 months since you hired the lawyer to send the letter to say you needed 6 months, did you ever contact anybody at the building department to say, hey, I never did this before, what can I do?
No, I haven't. Because
What-
again, you need money to do everything. I
I'm not
don't have
asked
the
a
money.
question, not asked a question.
No,
I mean, what are we to take from that? That you didn't even pick up the phone, go to the village, write an email to ask that initial question?
To talk to the building official does not cost money. He's here 2 days a week, I believe.
Quite the contrary, it can
Okay.
help you save on time and money by doing it right the first time.
I understand. And I apologize for that.
Okay. I think the order that, the way it was passed stands.
So I mean, so what? You tell her what the,
So I would just add, the reason why we as staff had asked to rescind the order was because we did receive the email from the attorney, but we didn't see it and did not present it at the April meeting. They were asking for time.
But it was
They've had this 6 months.
it's well explained to us in April, so although we didn't have the attorney's letter, we knew what the property owner wanted, so we really weren't missing. I'll be honest. I want to see the order of enforcement held in terms of the fines they need to stay. They're accurate. What I would like to do, if this board would agree, since some time has been lost, granted, it's 6 months, I would have liked to seen an effort long before this. Would the board have a problem with extending another month for her to get the actual permit?
I don't have a problem.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't.
Then my motion would be that in CEN 23-510, April's order of enforcement is to be amended. The fines will stand. The compliance date will now be July 17th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Rodolfo? Yes, motion passes 4-0, so you will have another month to get the process and get what they need, meet with the building officials so that you know going into it, you're not wheels.
And again, they can tell you what days he's here, and he's here, and you can come in and sit down and talk to him.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Would you please leave us with your contact information so we don't email the wrong person? Thank you. Right, so the next case would be 7-8. Next case is 7.8 for 11345 Northeast 9th Court. It's for case number CEN 23-341 for William P. Lomery. It's an intent to lien. We don't have a permit in the system. This is for a driveway. I'm glad that Mr. William is here to speak for himself.
Yeah, I've spoken to you many times in the past month.
Yes.
What I have is the,
Sure.
Yep.
If you would, give the board a chance to
Yep.
have a little discussion, then I promise. you'll
Oh,
keep your
okay.
turn.
Oh, sure.
Okay,
Okay.
so
I take back the no contact made. Yes, you've been in the office quite a few times.
Yeah. in the past
William.
Month, yeah. I'm
Yes.
trying to get this.
Yes, you're right.
sorted here. Yeah.
so where is this property owner in the permitting process?
He has been in the office several times with this driveway package, trying to figure out how to do it. I believe he doesn't have a computer at home,
Right.
and
Okay,
there was the issue of,
okay.
Got the,
Yeah, that isn't easy.
yeah, I've got this here.
and unfortunately, they
yeah.
don't take applications over the counter anymore. So
For folks who don't have,
we absolutely would love to help them. We've sometimes referred people to the computer at the rec center. It's difficult for us in code because of conflict of interest. We refrain from doing actual applications.
really shouldn't, because you need to be objective, you need to do your jobs. this is a sidebar for the moment, sir. I apologize. This points out a glaring need.
Right.
I mean, there may not be many folks without
Yeah.
computers, but
And
come on.
he's been in the office several times.
To say to a property owner in this village, oh, well, no. No, we
I
got-
agree.
that's not cool. Okay, my rant is over. Sorry.
So, but we do have computers at the rec center?
There's one computer that I believe the public can use, but they would still need help. I agree with the chairperson that not everyone knows how to use a computer.
But is there someone at rec who can help?
Probably, most probably.
As I know,
Have guide the gentleman as to who he-
We have sat with him several times and given him the paperwork, but
Okay.
if he doesn't have a computer to upload that stuff, to fill in the application, it becomes a little difficult. And for us, I'm not comfortable having my officers do applications.
no. But again,
Because
rec,
not only because every one of our employees has a solid work schedule, but particularly my conscious of code, you want to be objective.
Absolutely.
Really don't want to be touching permit applications, and no, that would not work. All right, let's see where we can go. So on the order of enforcement from April, we listed a deadline of today.
Right.
Frankly, in hearing what the issues are, I would have no problem tabling this till next month.
Right, maybe we could ask the resident, the volunteer, because she's not staff, she could assist him in doing the permit.
I see you've got the permit application, sir.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the architectural plans, which will be done Friday,
How
So,
would, all right,
Friday at 1.
we, if the board agrees, would table your situation till July 17th for you to come back with the progress reports. In other words, the daily fines will not kick in as of tomorrow, which is what they were scheduled to do.
Okay,
That will not happen.
okay.
So if you could come back in July and update us on your progress.
and we're hoping that by July you'll have a permit applied for.
Right, so I can go
Not
ahead with the
permit.
process? I can go ahead with the
Got
start.
all the
Okay,
documents that have to be done.
But again,
Right.
if you need computer assistance, please reach out to the village and
Linda Dillon.
they
Right.
can help
okay.
you with
I
it.
had to have it surveyed, the property. That was the first. And I've been on chemotherapy at the University of Miami, for 2 years.
Okay. All right,
Uh,
so you made the motion. I'll second it. We need to take a vote.
In CEN 23-341, table to the July 17th meeting for the property owner to come back and give us an update.
Okay,
Second,
okay, great,
Uh,
thank you.
all in
Thanks.
favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thanks.
So you gotta input it in the computer, you know that, right?
Input it in the computer? Yeah,
Yeah.
And again, reach out to the city. They'll find someone to help you.
right here, Biscayne Park, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna start it right now. I'm gonna,
I think that in the rec center,
Already,
they were
yeah.
saying that they have a computer that you can get access to. And then I think there's people there that you can talk to that kind of help walk you through it.
well, they don't do it in the, code compliance office or?
No, it's a conflict of interest for them to do it.
You gotta go to the rec
So
center.
you're probably gonna have to deal with the people at the rec center to help you.
I didn't know that. Thought you could.
Yeah,
do it
well,
right
if
there
they're,
at the,
if they're the ones who give you a violation, they can't be the ones to fix it up.
It's a
Okay, so
conflict.
the architectural plans are going to the building department here.
Yes.
He's gonna send them Friday.
Yes,
Okay,
So who gets them?
the building department.
The building department will see the plans.
Mhm.
But you still have to get the application. You gotta go through the process
Yeah,
you've
on
gotta
the
go in
village
front
website.
of
'cause
planning
they
and
don't do it by
zoning.
Paper.
right,
So
okay,
you,
right.
Yeah, you still have to go in front of planning and zoning for the design.
you gotta do that in the next month and then come back here on the 17th and say,
17th of July, right.
yeah,
So
hey, I
that's
got
what-
everything going. I already took care of it. I got a computer from a buddy and he helped me put it in. Okay,
Okay, thank you so much.
good luck.
Being a non-tech person, I
Next item is 7.9, It's for 11450 Northeast 10th Avenue. This is for case number CEN 22-105 for Alejandro Bowers and Audra McCullum. This is for an intent to lien. Violation is for a driveway. The property owner sent an email this afternoon. I believe I have it right here. She sent it at 4:53 PM in the afternoon. And I will pass it around, I guess. She's just, it's right in the bottom. She sent it as I was coming in over here, late in the afternoon. Today was the deadline, and I believe she's asking for a little more time.
We already gave her a 2-month extension in April.
Mhm.
Was she here when, did she come in person? I wasn't here at April.
No, she still owes the 500, and this was tabled from March to today.
But okay.
Well, it sounds like she's at least making progress.
That's correct.
What I would like to do, all right, she's got with me. The original order of enforcement is back in January. At this point, what I'd like to do is give her 2 months with which to comply. Yeah, it's a significant amount of money. I was getting there. I'd like to give her 2 months to comply in terms of completing the permit application process and either pay the fines or apply for a fine reduction.
You can do that once the driveway is finished. With the reduction, once the driveway is final.
Oh, you're right. That's
Yep.
right. Thank you for reminding me. If that can be another, well, that's what we'll have to do, and they'll have to accumulate because you can't make it work together. I would like to give her till August 5th to come into compliance as far as the permitting.
August 14? That's the date to it.
We'll make it for the meeting date then, sure.
But do her fines still accrue?
They have to. You have no choice. You can't just stop them because she's not in compliance.
Right.
The daily fines to stop as soon as the permit is applied for. And I'm sorry, as soon as the permit is granted. Then we can go from there in terms of a date for a fine reduction, or else then you would do the intent to lien. So it would be August 14th for compliance in terms of pulling the permit. Daily fines have to continue, nowhere to stop them until the permit is pulled, then they stop. Once the project is finalized, she can come in for a fine reduction. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0.
Next item is 7.10. 7.10.
I make the notes.
You made the motion, Janie.
I'm sorry.
You made the motion and Michael seconded.
Okay, go ahead.
Next is 7.10 for the address 11905 Northeast 12th Court, CEN 23-340. This is for Nicole Jean I. Smith Jacques. This is a violation for a driveway. We are supposed to receive a progress report today. They applied for the driveway permit, DWS-24-34. However, while they did enter the permit into the system, they received on May 21st a note from the clerk, building clerk, asking for more documentation, which they haven't submitted to date.
That was May 21st?
May 21st.
And no reply?
No reply. We were hoping that we would be here today to give the progress report, but they're not here.
According to the document from the building department, there are some rather critical elements missing, as in the plans.
They started the application and didn't submit anything, basically.
I mean, just starting the application does not qualify as coming into compliance. Particularly when you look at the significance, we're not talking about just the survey is missing, we're talking about the plans, the contractor's signature, all of which are absolutely critical.
I think the daily fines have to continue.
I absolutely agree. Bear with me, let me.
Yeah, because this is dated
Did they-
January 2nd, 2023.
Did they pay? No, okay, so,
And they got their first courtesy
So then-
notice in April of 22.
so this is
got
2 years, we're a little over 2 years, we're 26 months.
No contractor information.
No,
there's
nothing.
Plans. nothing.
And all the critical elements are not there. So I would say at this point, the daily fines absolutely have to
Continue.
continue. Yep. Because I don't see anything accomplished as it was when they asked for the continuance in May, it was already 13 days past the compliance date. Really, they should have come back at April's meeting to do it properly. But there has been no forward progress. So, yeah, I would say my motion in this case is that the daily fines continue to accrue.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
We're moving on to new business, section 8 of the agenda. 8.1 is 701 Northeast 119th Street for case number CEN 24-143, Agenta Group Investments LLC. We're asking the board to issue an order of enforcement. This property owner was found to be in violation of section 454.2 for a swimming pool barrier. The swimming pool is not surrounded by a safety barrier, a dwelling wall, non-dwelling wall, or any combination thereof. The gate fencing northwest east and is not equipped with a lock.
Hello.
They are
good
not in
afternoon. Good
compliance
afternoon.
still.
Yes,
One
my name
second.
is Judith. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Did anyone go to the property today?
May 31st, our inspectors went to the property to take pictures, current pictures, no improvement, and there was no answer at the door. No answer at the door. And no compliance.
That's
And the owner is Argenta Group Investments, Inc., or LLC? Am I looking at the right one? 8.1? Doreen? Is this 8.1? The Argenta Group Investment LLC is the owner.
Yes, yes, I'm the representative. My name is Judith Vilches.
When you say representative, you mean like, are you an officer?
Identify yourself and your relationship to identify yourself and your relationship to the
Yes,
property.
the assistant of the company. You hear me now? Okay, I'm the assistant of Argenta Company.
When you say assistant, are you an officer?
Yes, yes.
Your name, ma'am?
Judith Vilches.
Your last name?
Vilches.
V-I-L?
Vilches.
Listed as a Augustina Fernandez.
What is your title?
Okay, now I have some pictures. We already put the lock on the fence. Can I show you if you want?
What is the height of the fence?
Any pictures we have to keep as part of
We can't-
evidence, so we can't keep your phone. So that's a problem. Can't keep them, can't enter them.
What's the height of the fence that it's supposed to be?
Sienna.
A pool fence?
4 feet.
Or is not as much the issue as the condition. Looking at the gaps.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is South Florida, the drowning capital of the world. Such a dangerous thing.
The leading cause of death for children in this state is drowning in a neighbor's
Yes.
pool. And that's something we take very, very seriously.
Yes, that's true, that's true.
2 days ago it happened.
In this case, what's your advice? We can change the metal fence or what do we need to do in this case?
So you have been out on site. Is the fence salvageable with pulleys and chaining it together? Does the fence need to be replaced?
That fence need to be replaced, and the
Okay.
unique situation with that property is it used to have hedges that were like 7, 8 foot tall. They removed the hedges, exposing that swimming pool.
Okay,
That fence is too short to protect the pool. So
okay,
you either have to remove that fence and install a pool with the right, a fence with the right height,
Mhm.
or put a barrier around
Okay.
the swimming pool.
Okay, no problem. I will do like that.
These gaps.
What's the
Any
height you need
kid
for a pool?
will
Yeah.
manage
At least 4 feet.
through that.
That's true, that's true.
Right.
I will change it. Okay, and put more height. It's okay?
Yes, and you need a permit. You have to come in and get a permit, so.
I'll get a permit for that, okay.
Right. Now, I would like to stress to you, the reason why we put that red tag at that property is because this is really urgent. Like she was
Okay.
explaining, an animal, a young child, that gate is open at the bottom. I walked there myself. I was driving past the house and I saw all that.
Okay,
It's open underneath the gates. Animal, a little child can go over. That's a really, really dangerous situation. It's a
Unsafe.
safety hazard.
Unsafe. Okay.
So please, if you can put a construction fence, something to protect.
Here's my concern, because even a construction fence, we're gonna
It's not
have
good enough.
legally give her until the orders of enforcement are received. Can the village secure the property and build the property owner?
Absolutely. If we get
Okay.
the order from,
Y-
we get the
I have
order
a
from the
question.
board-
Do you need to, we need to do the plans?
Excuse me a second. Again, because anything
Oh.
we order property owner, they've got to have the order of enforcement first, even though she's here tonight.
Well, I mean, I'm still trying to cut through who she is. I don't see,
Judith.
she's not the registered
Judith.
Not the
agent.
registered agent.
Are you Augustina Fernandez?
Yes, I know Agustina Fernandez.
No, you're not Augustina Fernandez,
No,
correct?
No, I'm the representative of the
Okay, and you're not Joaquin Gonzalez, obviously.
Joaquin, of course, his husband.
Right, so they are that's the title president and VP, registered agent is Augustina. You're here, you sit on behalf of, but unfortunately, as an LLC, they can't be represented by anybody other than themselves, a lawyer.
Okay, they are the emergency, that's why I'm here. We need to know what's
Have
going
something
on
in
and we
writing
can
to-
resolve the problem, no?
She has to have something in writing saying she's representing the owners.
See that, and I'm looking at Sunbiz and I don't.
Correct, I
She
agree
said
with you.
that she was an officer of the company, so I looked at Sunbiz,
No.
and you're not an officer, at least registered with the state.
No, but I work for that company.
Okay, but you
So-
said you were an officer. And you remember hearing that you were in the beginning and you had to raise your hand and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the
Yes,
truth?
sir.
And then you came up here and you said that you were an officer of the company and that's who you were here on behalf of. So that's not being truthful with the board. And this is a quasi judicial board, which you were sworn to tell the truth. That's why. Because it is going to make findings of fact. But I don't even think that we can hear anything from this witness because she's not really legally entitled to be here on behalf of this LLC.
I understand, sir. I understand that the
Only
point.
way we
but
could is if she
I'm
had
work for
right
this
to rely
company.
saying that, and we don't have that clearly. So I'm back to then my question, can the city secure it until we can properly hear this case?
Can we at least impose fines?
No.
If we get an order from their,
This covered that,
the representation,
person
Right.
here, I mean, I don't like not imposing the fines, but I'm getting.
But we impose fines when we don't have people here
No,
anyway.
I'm, right, I just don't think that
because it's a safety hazard.
we can. accept
Safety hazard.
anything that she's talking about or bringing up to the board. I think we can make our own decisions about what's before us. I just wanted to know who she was and she didn't,
How
wasn't.
she represents the
what her-
property.
We know what her position was,
Correct.
other than maybe she's
Sir,
an
you're
employee.
right, sir. Maybe we don't send some email for my name or representative, that company. That's right. You are right. But in this case, we need to resolve this problem. What is the process to fix it?
Well, that's what we're discussing now.
Yes, yes. So my question is, do you need to change the fence? But we need to do the plans and the permits, right? This is the process for change the fence?
Something like this, get it done and apply for an after the fact permit.
Immediately.
I don't hear you, miss. Can you, I don't hear you. Please.
Want it translated into Spanish? Would that be better for her?
Rest of it.
No, you can continue, no problem. You can continue.
What's the question?
I don't hear you. I don't hear you.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
And I usually have that problem. It needs to be secured. The permitting process has to be entered into, but at this point, you're going to be getting most likely an after the fact permit, meaning
Okay.
got to get a construction fence up there at least.
Okay. Yes.
Then apply to get a proper fence, proper enclosure. That will be what we call an after the fact. There will be additional costs, but we can't wait till then. This is a safety issue.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
But it seems to me that a violation has occurred and we should put forth a fine. And I would recommend a fine of $250 and I think that's the appropriate fine. And the admin fee of $250. And should there be daily fines added to that?
What I would suggest that in CEN 24, I'm sorry. Does
Go
anybody
ahead.
else have any questions? In CEN 24-143, yes, obviously a violation has
Mhm.
assessed a $250 fine, $250 administrative fee. Because of the orders of enforcement, I want to say we need to give till June 19th to come into compliance by pulling proper permitting
Mhm.
or a $250 daily fine. But in reality, I want to see you put that fence in immediately,
Tomorrow.
immediately.
Okay.
The deadline of the 19th will be a deadline so that you'll get no daily fines unless you don't get everything done by the 19th. But in reality, it needs to get done.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Can I do the application? But then the drawings take a little time for the fence. So I'm gonna do tomorrow on the application. So then we submitted the plans when are ready. Okay?
It's good to get the application in tomorrow,
I'll
yes,
second it.
but what the chairperson is emphasizing is put a construction fence around it to secure that area.
Okay,
Once you go through the, after the fact permitting process, then you can install an actual
okay,
fence.
okay, no problem.
I have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you have something to say, Mr. Nick?
I was going to add in reference to the non-climbable protective perimeter fence around the pool, which is behind the chain link fence, that does not need a permit. But if they're going to
Do the perimeter.
reinforce the exterior chain link fence, that's when you're gonna need a permit.
They have fences that just enclose the pool itself to make it childproof.
But you can do that without a permit.
Pool is the issue. That needs to be impenetrable by, unless,
We love our
The
babies.
non-climbable.
Yeah.
fence, the one around the pool itself, that does not need a permit.
Got it.
The chain link does need a permit.
The next item is 8.2 under new business for 845 Northeast 120th Street. The case number is CEN 23-452. Valdia Esteves Trust, the Familia Esteves Trust, Messias de Almeida Esteves Trust. We were going to ask for an order of enforcement in this case. However, like the previous case, the building official advised this driveway has not met the 50% rule, and for us to withdraw this violation and issue a property maintenance violation. They can fix that driveway without a permit. I might talk about the right driveway. I better be. You can fix that driveway without a permit per the building official.
gravel.
Refresh the gravel. You don't need a permit for that.
So just to clarify, I just need to put new gravel.
That's
So the
correct.
permit process started, just pause it.
That's correct.
What you already have, just a new load of gravel,
New load
and
of
that
gravel.
does not require a permit.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. So we'll do that and,
Everybody okay with that? Okay, I'll make a motion unless anybody has any more questions. EN 23-452, that case will be dismissed. It does not meet the 50% deterioration rule. And a new violation will be issued for property maintenance so that the property owner will refresh the gravel.
thank you so much.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Next item is 8.3, and the address is 11119 Northeast 11th Place for case number CEN 2479 for Susan Tardif and Jeremy Martinez. We were going to ask for an order of enforcement for this violation. However, when we did more research, we found out that this particular property is grandfathered in for a boat. However, what they need to do is register that boat. We are asking the board to not issue an order of enforcement because the violation we found is not under this chapter. This chapter was for a boat that was there without a permit. So staff did get in touch with Mr. Martinez, so he can just bring the registration for the board. We are asking for a dismissal in this case.
Thank you for doing the research. In the case of CEN 24-79, case will be dismissed because I would take it the property owner has the,
Grandfathered in status.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
The next item is 8.4 for the address 11505 Northeast 11th Place. This is for case number CEN 24-213, Mitera 2 LLC in care of their registered agent Cabrera Rigoberto L. We're asking for an order of enforcement. They have a walkway that was installed without permits. Violation of chapter 16.3.1. No permit is in the system as of today.
Application, nothing. Questions from the board?
Is the front walkway to the front door?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, so your name
Oh,
and
I'm
your
sorry.
relationship to the property?
So my name is Rigo. Thank you for not butchering it horribly. I am the owner of the property and of my Terra 2 LLC. I had a GC do the work and I was under the understanding that he actually did everything according to what needed to be done. I made sure that I told him to keep the same exact pathway as it was originally. It was just very thin and we want to be able to put wheelchairs through, so we just widened it. So that's where I am today.
Well, unfortunately, your contractor's error goes back to the property owner, not the
I-
contractor.
Very clear to me. I was very surprised to get something in the mail for a notice to appear.
Questions?
So have you applied for an after the fact permit?
No, sir. I literally got this, I would say, a couple of days ago. So I just noticed that I got this and came here. I did speak to the contractor and I guess he's playing amnesia. He said that he did everything he needed to do, but apparently that is not correct.
So what would be the difference, Doreen, if he would have come here and had applied for an after the fact permit and that was the status? How would that differ from the situation he's in right now?
It would be up to the board. That would be showing an effort towards compliance. However, we don't have any of that. The violation was issued in April. This is June, 2 months later, and there's nothing that, and when the violation was issued, it was not only posted at the door, it was sent to the property owner by certified mail.
Did you,
Right.
did you
So
get
this
those?
is the certified mail that I do have.
The
It
notice
says
to
here-
appear
Correct.
to this hearing.
Yes.
Notice of violation itself was sent April 22nd to the same address.
I don't have that. I only have
We
this
have
one.
a certificate for. have a-
Do you live there?
At that property right
Yeah.
now? No, because I have them painting the inside and stuff
It's
like that.
vacant.
It's
The house
vacant,
is vacant.
right.
Yeah.
Without a permit, irrespective of whether the contractor did it or you did it personally, it's still a violation.
No, I understand that.
Before a permit can be issued, it still has to go to P and Z and go through all the same hoops as everybody else.
Yes, and again, the confusion is I believe around the same amount of time he applied for the roofing permit. So that was done and that
So,
seemed
so
to,
you, like the front door, I saw the front door, was there, you got a permit for the front door?
He has people working, I'm sorry to interrupt you,
Yes.
sir. He has people working, doing roofing at the property.
Permit for that?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
There is a permit for the roofing. So when we stuck the violation on the door, we
Right.
assume.
And that's
he
why
would
I'm
be told.
confused. That's why when I got this, I was kind of blown away. I didn't, I would figure that he would do that simultaneously, but apparently he didn't. So,
Is it the same contractor that's doing the roof?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he got a roof
He did
permit?
The roof permit. but
He did the
didn't get a
roof,
permit
but didn't do the driveway, the
The walkway.
walkway, thank
Which
you.
they have expanded from the original walkway, so they will need
Right.
to go through the zoning process.
I would definitely expect your contractor to pay your permit fees, the double fees,
Mhm.
Oh.
anything else.
I highly doubt it, but you know how
I
that
mean,
goes.
If he pulled the permit for one thing, he is aware of the system.
I understand. I understand. I did have a couple of questions and to see if I can resolve the issue. I guess I've never done the after the fact.
After the fact just means that you will be charged double permit fees. You have to come in and apply as if you're applying for the regular permit.
Okay,
You will pay double fees though. And you will have to go through the planning and zoning process. It will have to be approved by zoning and then approved by the building department.
okay.
Mhm.
And if I were to just remove the walkway
That would be compliance for code.
for code, if I were to remove it and replace it with, I guess, decorative gravel, would that be okay? I need a permit for the decorative gravel.
Yeah, right,
So
because now we are
regardless.
doing a major change from what it originally
I see.
was.
If you were to remove the current walkway, does that require a demo permit?
No.
I
Okay.
always ask, because I'm not
Absolutely.
does or doesn't.
That was a good
Understand.
question. So I guess I need to apply for the after, because
After
either
the
way I
fact.
have to pay for a permit. Okay,
Well, I mean, double, unfortunately, because it's after the fact. That's it. That's the rub.
right. Yeah,
It's like what, like another $250 or something? Whatever it is.
Recently, so I couldn't even estimate it, wouldn't even try. Okay, do we have?
Sir, I would also like to show you this like I did the other person.
sure.
The post office gives us this. Someone signed for the notice of violation that we sent. That's not yours. Somebody at the house or at the office.
It's just my family that lives with me,
Okay.
and no, that's.
Someone did sign for them because we ask for signatures when.
Oh, no, well, when I got this, I didn't sign for it either. They just put it in my mailbox.
Oh, we don't have a signature for that, but we have a.
Oh, I
signature
see.
For the
I get-
original notice of violation.
No, but I mean, my signature is much more complicated than an ampersand. And so is my wife's. Hers is even more horrible than mine.
All right,
Um,
I think we're ready for a motion.
Mhm.
Thank you.
In CEN 24-213, a violation has occurred. Assess a $250 fine, $250 admin fee. Give the property owner until July 17th to either pull the permit or remove the walkway. If not, a $250 daily fine.
I had a quick question, if you don't mind. The
Need a
fines,
second first.
Oh,
If you
I'm
need a
sorry. Go
second,
ahead.
Then we can do that. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second for discussion? Go ahead. sir.
regarding the fines, I don't have anything for fines. How do I know how much I have in fines? I have no.
Now you do $500, 250, 250, 500. And
Okay.
after July 17, if you're not in compliance, another 250 daily.
Nice.
That basically means pull the permit. It doesn't mean it has to be done. It means
see.
you have to have pulled the
Just
permit
apply
by
and start
July.
pulling. Okay.
Yeah, but don't do what a couple, few back there where they just like kind of just access the portal and, didn't do anything. You gotta
Okay.
kind of go through the process.
Effort is what?
Yeah.
All
Okay.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
sir. Good
Thank you.
luck.
ma'am. Thank you.
Good luck.
Next item is 8.5 for 11925 Griffin Boulevard, case number CEN 24-340 for Guiliami. Ooh, can I pronounce that name? Kerdaga, or whatever. This is the first time I've seen the board member laughing. I couldn't pronounce that name. I apologize. However, we were going to ask for an order of enforcement on this case. However, they have come into compliance.
We Just dismiss? No.
Close the case.
Okay, in CEN 24-340, they've come into compliance, so let's close the case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0.
Who seconded the motion? Judy? Michael, is Judy
You wrote it. You did the motion.
and 4-0. Next item, 8.6 for 11935 Northeast Fifth Avenue, case number CEN 24-191 for 11935 Development LLC. We are asking for an order of enforcement for a fence violation There's a fence that was installed, which is a construction fence without a permit. And then also that the fence on the left side of the property is open and there's a swimming pool inside the property. So for now, it's the 18.5 construction fence without a permit.
But the only citation is for the construction fence. It's not for,
For the open side, and we just wanted to mention it, so. It's after the fact, when the inspectors went there yesterday, that they noticed that that side of the fence is open.
Was there any after the fact permit applied for?
Oh, they came
Yes, they
in
did.
at 5:55 and applied, oh, they did apply for the permit. 5:55, 5 minutes before the hearing.
And the mom is here.
Thank you.
much of that.
Oh, it's been a long day.
Okay.
So just wanted to mention the fence.
Would your name and
Oh, I'm
relationship to the
sorry.
property?
I'm sorry. Marta Lorenzo, and it's 119, 35
11935.
Northeast
Mhm.
Fifth Avenue.
Yes.
So I believe the fence was installed there from the previous owners.
That's
The
true.
fence was there from the previous owners, and now we know that it was installed without a permit.
is
We did
permitted
not
now.
know. And we're gonna do our best to comply as fast as we can.
Is this the Andrew Ola's property?
This is next to Commissioner Gonzalez's house. Commissioner Gonzalez's house on the left.
Was this there was a house, they raised the house and then put a fence around it?
Yes, they demolished the house that was there before, the previous owners.
Yeah,
Yes.
before.
That was Andrew Ola's.
Correct.
So that pool, I'm sorry, it's not
empty.
before this.
It's empty.
Fix
Mhm.
it.
Closing the case?
Yes.
In CEN 24-191, the property owner is committed to compliance, so we should close the case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Take care of the left side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
you can-
secure it with a
Yes.
pool fence.
Yes,
please.
of course, of course. Yes.
Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good evening.
You need some help?
That's it.
The minutes. We need to go to the minutes.
One.
Has everyone had time to read April and May?
If I may, we have a resident that is here on a case you've already ruled on. I'm not sure if he wanted that. Did you? He had surgery? So why did you come here? Why you didn't stay home, sir? Don't understand. I think, what is it?
So he saw the people here, and they figured he'd come in.
No, sir, if you are not well, you don't have to be here. They've already ruled on the case. We'll send you an order in the mail, okay? I'm sorry.
We're good?
I think so.
Minutes.
Go home. We're not doing that.
Got two
Okay,
questions.
everybody's.
Good luck, sir.
All the best. Why did he come? I don't understand.
But he saw people, I can hear, yeah, I saw people, he figured he'd come in.
What he? Yeah, but if he's sick, he doesn't have to be here. They've already ruled, you ruled on the case. I don't think we should be going back when
I'm
he's.
sorry, honey,
well.
what?
His case is on the agenda, was on the agenda. But I'm saying you've already ruled on the case, and if he's not well, he didn't have to be here.
No, please. Okay,
That was the end of
It's read the minutes. Let's deal with April first. Item 7.2. That should be Steve Taylor.
Which minutes are we on the May 15 minutes?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
This is
April,
yeah.
Oh,
item
April.
7.2. Be Steve Taylor.
Steve.
And item 7.4 should be the June 5th meeting. That was the only two corrections I noted. Does anyone else have corrections?
Yeah, in this case about the June 5 hearing, there was a lot of places where they said June 12, like they were doing today. So they said June 12, but I know they meant June 5.
Okay,
So as long as the board is okay with us making the June 5 correction, that's good.
gotcha.
That's it.
Any other corrections, changes, additions?
And on 7.2, he signed in, this gentleman, and this is how he wrote it, S-P-R-E.
It's Steve, trust me.
His name is Steve?
I've known
Know
the,
him?
It's-
Oh,
it's Steve, Steve, trust me.
okay. Thank you for that. All right, May 15, Mina.
Any others? Judy? Oh.
May I? On May,
We're going to May? Nothing with April?
I don't.
Okay, anybody with April?
You have more?
All right, then I would make a motion to approve April's minutes with those corrections.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Okay, now May, go right ahead.
On May on 7.7, my notes I wrote, Judy made the motion and Dale seconded it. On here, it says Michael seconded it.
Okay, you
So-
guys do it.
7.7,
I wasn't
Doesn't
here.
matter.
What I mean.
you say you had, who made the motion?
I have it written that I made the motion and Dale seconded on there. It's
Michael, she said Michael.
Okay, all right, fine. And on 7.8, it says I made the motion and Michael made the motion.
On 7.8?
Yeah.
So Michael.
Michael?
And who seconded? You did.
Judy,
Judy.
that's what I have.
We'll check it.
All right,
If there's a correction to be made, we'll make it. If not, we'll leave it as is.
that's all I had.
Okay, I wasn't here, but yes, I watched the meeting. Under additions, deletions, et cetera, the 1075, 119th Street, maybe I heard wrong, but I heard the reason for tabling was the board members who were present wanted the rest of the backup that they didn't have that night. It says it was tabled for the property owner to be present, and again, maybe I missed something, but I thought it was stated because,
What's the item number?
oh, I'm sorry, 5 under additions, deletions, or changes. Of course, I was watching the YouTube video. I wasn't here, so I could have misheard.
So this is the case that we heard today.
Right, and I heard.
Tabled it because they wanted
Right,
her to
I
be.
heard it tabled, I thought I heard it tabled because the 4 members who were present
Mhm.
wanted the rest of the backup that wasn't included that night,
Oh, it wasn't for her to be here?
because it was a last minute addition.
Okay, I'll have to listen to the tape again.
Okay.
I wasn't here that night.
And. 7-Eleven. The tabling of the case should be June 5th, not 7th. And 8.2, I believe you're going to find his name is Stefano Bridich. And I know that's a tough name, and probably if you were reading how he signed it in, very difficult to read, but they're a family that has been here a long time. And I can't remember how to spell the last name, but it's definitely not spelled that way.
No, yeah,
It's Stefano?
no R, the R should be out.
Okay.
R and the D.
Stefano.
And I believe it to be Stefano Bridich, and it's like, I won't even try.
I will look at it again.
Okay, any other changes? Then I would make a motion that to approve May's minutes with those corrections.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just a couple of quick things. Additions to the agenda, which you can imagine kind of predicated by my watching the May meeting. And when we have last minute additions like that, if there is a strong, solid legal reason, I get it. If not, and I please ask my board members to like chime in here, I just think it does everybody a disservice. First of all, even though you guys tabled that, there was quite a chunk of time that you've got people in the audience who already don't want to be here. And now they're waiting while you guys are looking through everything and figuring out what to do. It's not properly posted because it's not part of the agenda, so the public doesn't see it. And now, for those of us on the board, to try to do the due diligence and analyze the situation, ask any questions, I would really, again, I want everybody here to please weigh in. I would prefer that only under the most legally pressing reasons that we would have last minute additions.
Yeah, I would say like any pool, any safety violations, life, health issues, absolutely bring it in, but
There you go.
yeah,
That's
I don't,
a good example.
I don't see that other stuff is that critical. We meet every month. It's not like they're waiting a long
We
time.
have such a responsibility to get it right and to be fair and to be thorough and do our due diligence that handing something on the fly, it's like, okay. No, enough of that rant. Meeting dates. I wrote down the meeting dates. I don't know if you guys, I don't think you guys have ever given us a sheet for the rest of the year, have you?
I believe we did, but we haven't.
Because
We can email you the one we have now.
Because it looks like we kind of vary a little. Sometimes it's the third Wednesday, sometimes it's the second, and in
Some-
October, I checked October's calendar, it has us listed for 2 meetings. October 2nd and 16th.
That's a mistake. It's the 16th.
Okay,
Absolutely. We'll email.
please,
It's October 16th, November
6th.
6th, and December 8th.
Okay, I have July 17, August 7,
August 14.
August 14th. Better go back and check the calendar because I could swear I saw,
Right, and the reason I'll tell you, we can't do 2 meetings within 2.5 weeks. We
Okay,
need
because
time
I could swear I saw the 7th.
notice.
So July 17th.
14.
July 17, August 14, September 18,
Mhm.
October 16, November 6, is that one right?
Yes.
And December 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Michael requested, if you wouldn't mind, send us an email.
Absolutely.
I'm out of
Just to-
town on July, and I've already notified the clerk and everybody.
Can we vote on her absence now, or do we have to wait for the meeting?
Whose absence?
Judy?
I won't be here July.
In July? can wait for the meeting, but.
We can wait for the meeting? Okay.
Yeah, we can wait for July.
Oh, I do have one,
Send us that email.
I did. I sent it to Vanessa and I sent it to.
I do have one question since unfortunately I never got it answered. We have an alternate.
Yes.
Is he aware that we have an alternate? Because from what I heard at last night's meeting, nobody mentioned names, but some alternate was told they were on a different board than they really are. So I'd like to confirm, has our alternate been told? Has he been given the dates? Is he on the agenda distribution list? And does he even know that he's one of us?
I don't think he's putting his application on site.
But, I mean, he's been appointed. He was appointed at May's meeting. Okay.
However, I'll reach out to him.
Please. And I just think it's really critical.
As an
because
alternate, does he have to show up to every meeting?
He doesn't have to, but we encourage it because look at the difference. Rodolfo is now, has been now a voting member. So it's important for the alternates to show up. I know I used to, when I was a code board alternate for years, because that's how you get comfortable with the process. That's how you learn. And Doreen, there is one more thing I need, and so does Dale as vice chair.
Yes.
The parameters for alternates, they're when times can they vote?
Yes.
When can't they vote? Because there's always confusion. Is it if there's a quorum, they can't vote? Or is it if anyone's missing, they can vote? Because there's always been a question about that. And that's the kind of information I was trying to get and unfortunately didn't. Okay. Anybody else?
Well, I just want to say that maybe it's August 14th. No, I'm okay. I thought, okay, forget it.
August 14th.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to?
Hold
Oh,
on.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
So she's just telling me the arts, people are having a meeting on the 14th in August. So we have to move ours up to the 7th,
Which meeting do we have to move on? August?
August 7th.
Okay, so that makes what I was going to say relevant.
7th.
That's not,
So I may be out of town. My mom's having surgery like the end of July for her hip, so I may be up there in New Hampshire.
all right, we have it on the record, but if you could send us an email.
Yeah.
It was right, August 7th. Am I right?
Right, yeah. That's not very good for us because we only have 2 weeks to
Yikes.
to do the meeting that just ends from July, and then we're already posting for the next
Yep.
week. There's no space, but we'll do what we can. August 7th.
Luckily, you have a good, solid team, and
Oh, yeah.
thank you all, Luciano, wherever you
Yeah.
are. Thank you all very much.
Great job.
All your efforts, your professionalism, and your willingness to kind of go that extra mile.
Definitely. I'll second that.
Willingness to work with people. We love seeing that.
So may I have a motion to dismiss if we don't have anything else?
Motion to dismiss?
Motion to adjourn?
Second,
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, by the way.
That's on me. All in favor?
Aye.
hi.
Aye.
Luciana, we all thanked you. You missed it.
Doing a great job.
It's the praise.
Is recorded.
And the announcement is Luciano passed his level 2 in code, so he's now a qualified supervisor.